Those who enjoy the hard-earned fruits of yesterday should never let the plant of freedom wilt. You are descendants to the great tradition and history. If you dare aspire to become a journalist, you are to be tasked to bring truth out in the open and let it speak to power, to bring voice to the silence and strength to the weak.
To be a journalist is to live in irony while continuing to tread forward. The Philippines might be one of the freest places for a journalist to practice the profession, but it is also one of the worst places to become one. If you dare to become a journalist, you must want it with courage and eagerness, and with all your heart.
Senior High School Program in Journalism is a program aligned to UMS program. At its core, it offers UMS curriculum with an add-ons and that will be an edge in journalism. The students will learn the knowledge and skills in media production, graphic design, photography, film, and other fields of media arts.
As a student of journalism, you are to be equipped with excellent communication skills, both verbal and written, through various subjects and workshops.
As graduates of this program, it is expected for you to master digital skills and be literate in the tools of trade in media and journalism, such as layouting, graphic design, photography, video editing, and many more.
The senior high school curriculum offers subjects on research from grades 11 to 12. The program will harness these subjects to promote research skills specific and necessary for future journalists and media practitioners. We believe that research skills are important in the practice of journalistic craft.
Faithful to the institutional virtues of Dunong, Dangal, and Diwa, we wish to instill not just the skills, but more importantly, the values of social responsibility, emphasizing the roles of media and journalists as the conscience of the people and responsible holders of the mic and power of the mic and the pen.
Senior High School Program in Journalism, at its core, is a humanities and social sciences strand with electives on the media arts, which include workshops on radio and TV broadcasting, digital media, and the allied media arts, such as the performing and the visual arts.
Aspiring grade 10 completers may apply to the program provided that they meet the requirements set for admission. First, applicants should possess general average of 90 and above in English and 85 and above in all other learning areas. Moreover, a portfolio will be submitted as a proof of competence which contains previous outputs, to include a copy of photographs taken and/or copy of film shot if available, and/or copy of visual and digital artworks, and a copy of written works such as poems, short stories, and other literary works. After being shortlisted based on the evaluation of the two requirements, successful applicants may undergo a final interview. For the specific details, for admission, you can visit the MHP-NHS Facebook page or contact Mrs. Hilda P. Magahis or Mr. Paulo de Guzman of English UMS Department.
At its core, the journalism program is a humanities and social science strand. Students will take the same subject as a UMS student, but will be privileged to take elective courses. The program is designed as an immersive and synergistic curriculum of study. Immersive as the students will be exposed to hands-on media practice via the school's media laboratory and partnerships with broadcast industry. Synergistic as the program shall harness partnership and linkages with the academe and the industry to provide rich learning experience for the HSS PJ students.
If you want to be an excellent journalist, not just good, be part of it, be trained, be good at it, excel. Enroll at Marcelo Isel Pilar National High School, program in journalism.
Kamusta? Ako si Teleo, ang batang teleradyo. Abangan niyo ako at ang aking mga kwento. La 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 la. Wow! Ang ganda naman ng gusali. Nagandaan ka rin ba? Iyan ang unang gusali ng Marcelo, na noon ay Bulacan High School. Binuksan ito ng mga Amerikano noong 1906 sa bakura ng Kapitolyo. Nilarawan ito bilang the best and the most modern schoolhouse sa Pilipinas noong panahong iyon. Cool, di ba? Alam mo ba, ang unang gusali ng paaralan ay makikita sa logo ng Marcelo. Cool! Yan na muna for now. See you next time. Ako ulit si Teleo, ang batang teleradyo na nagsasabing, aming dakilang paaralan ay may dakilang nakaraan. Great school, great history. Bye-bye!
Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Teleradyo, teleradyo Marcelo. Sa gitna ng mapanubok na panahon, magkahatid sa kakibat ay diskusyon. Sama-sama tayo, kahit magkalayo. Sa programang ito, tiyak ang pagkatuto. Teleradyo, teleradyo Marcelo. Teleradyo, teleradyo Marcelo. Teleradyo, teleradyo Marcelo.
A pleasant day, dear science enthusiasts. I am Sir Russell Pueyo, and I am delighted to share with you an interesting topic for today. I hope you take it to heart all the things in this video lesson. For today's lesson, major categories of biomolecules. For the most essential learning competency, recognize the major categories of biomolecules such as carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. And for the objective, identify the characteristics and functions of different organic compounds. Carbon-containing molecules are called organic compounds. Organic molecules are called macromolecules because of the relatively large size as compared to inorganic compounds. There are four types of organic compounds. These are proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids. Let us discuss protein. Proteins are the most abundant organic compounds found in any living organism and are responsible for as much as 15% of the body's dry weight. It is estimated that a typical mammalian cell may contain as much as 10,000 different kinds of proteins having a diverse array of functions. Proteins form the structural parts of cells and tissues such as keratin in hairs, collagen in connective tissues, myosin and actin in muscle cells. While enzymes are proteins that accelerate chemical reaction. Antibodies are proteins responsible for the body's defense against infection. Hormones are proteins that regulate body functions, and growth factors are proteins that influence an organism's growth and development. There are 20 essential amino acids. These are alanine, arginine, asparagine, aspartic acid, cysteine, glutamic acid, glutamine, glycine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, proline, serine, threonine, tryptophan, tyrosine, and valine. Animal cells are capable of producing some of the essential amino acids they need to form their proteins. Food sources rich in proteins include meat, fish, beans, nuts, milk products, flour, and certain vegetables. One must note, however, that not a single food can provide all the amino acids needed to form proteins. For example, beans are a good source of isoleucine and lysine, but are likely to be deficient in tryptophan and other sulfur-containing amino acids. Another important type of proteins that plays important roles in the defense system of the body against disease-causing foreign organisms and particles are called antibodies. Antibodies are produced by a specific type of white blood cells called B lymphocytes in response to the presence of a foreign substance called the antigen. Let us now proceed to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are organic compounds that serve as the main source of energy in all organisms. Together with proteins, carbohydrates also function as structural components of living cells. Carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen molecules, where the proportion of hydrogen to carbon and oxygen atom is 2:1. There are three main groups of carbohydrates. These are monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides. Mono means one. Monosaccharides are simple sugars with only one sugar unit. Monosaccharides are identified based on the number of carbon atoms they are made of. Triose, such as glyceraldehyde, is a monosaccharide with 3 carbon atoms. Pentose, such as ribose, is a monosaccharide with 5 carbon atoms. The most common monosaccharides are made up of 6 atoms and are called hexoses. Glucose are also called dextrose, fructose, galactose, and mannose are examples of hexoses. Monosaccharides are highly soluble in water and they can easily pass through membranes such as cell membrane. Fructose is the sweetest known sugar found in fruits such as ripe mangoes, melon, and apis. Ribose and deoxyribose are simple sugars forming and backbones of RNA or ribonucleic acids and DNA deoxyribonucleic acids. Simple sugars are used as building blocks in the formation of complex sugars such as disaccharides and polysaccharides. Let us now proceed to disaccharides. Di means two. Disaccharides are complex sugars made of 2 molecules of monosaccharides chemically joined together. The chemical formula of disaccharides is C12H12O11. The chemical process whereby 2 monosaccharides are joined together to form a disaccharides with the loss of water molecule is called condensation, or dehydration synthesis. Let us now proceed to examples of disaccharides. Sucrose, commonly known as table sugar. Maltose, or malt sugar, occurs in malted cereals and sprouting grains. And lactose, also known as milk sugar. Next is polysaccharides. Poly means many. Polysaccharides are complex sugars made up of chains and or branches of monosaccharides formed by condensation reactions. The basic formula for polysaccharide is C6H10O5N, where N refers to the number of monosaccharides present. Examples of polysaccharides. Starch is a plant storage carbohydrate that is composed entirely of glucose molecules. It is commonly found in potato tubers, cassava, carrots, corn, and cereals. While glycogen is an animal storage carbohydrate which accumulates in the liver and muscle cells of vertebrates. And cellulose, most abundant organic compound on Earth found in the cell wall of plant cells. Let's now proceed to lipids. Lipids are organic substances that include fats and fat-like substances such as phospholipids, waxes, steroids, sphingolipids, and others. Lipids are generally hydrophobic substances and are insoluble in water, but are soluble in organic solvents such as benzene, ether, and chloroform. Beef fat or tristerine, for example, has the formula of C57H110O6. Functions of lipids in living organisms. Sources and storage of energy. Lipids provide twice as much as energy per pound as carbohydrates. It is essential parts of cell structure such as cell membranes. An insulating material to prevent heat loss and protection against extreme cold. Serves as solvent for fat-soluble vitamins and hormones. And prevents water loss from skin surface. The thin layer of oil secreted by sebaceous glands in the skin prevents the evaporation of water. Fats are lipids composed of one molecule of glycerol, an alcohol containing 3 carbons, and 3 fatty acid molecules. An ester bond connects the glycerol and the fatty acids. Fats can be broken down into simpler compounds by hydrolysis or addition of water. 3 molecules of water are needed to break 1 molecule of fat into its component glycerol and 3 fatty acids with the aid of an enzyme called lipase. There are 2 types of fatty acids, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated fatty acids are solid at room temperature. They are mostly found in animals. Lard, margarine, and butter are examples of saturated fatty acids. On the other hand, unsaturated fatty acids occur in liquid state at room temperature. They are found mostly in plants. Vegetable oil and corn oil are examples of unsaturated fatty acids. Unsaturated fats are believed to be healthier sources of fats compared to saturated forms. Other examples of lipids are phospholipids, which are important components of cell membrane. Waxes are lipids which are important components of many organisms, such as the cuticle covering the surfaces of leaves and stems of plants and protective coverings on the skin and fur of some animals. While steroids are lipids with a carbon skeleton of 4 fused rings, cholesterol, bile salts, sex hormones, and vitamin D are examples of steroids. And triglycerides, also known as blood fats, circulate in our bloodstream along with cholesterol. Sphingolipids are specifically found in the brain, lungs, and nerve tissues. Let us now proceed to nucleic acid. Nucleic acids are organic compounds that function for the storage of genetic information, which is transmitted from one generation to the next in all living organisms. Nucleic acids also function in protein synthesis as they carry the code needed in the formation of specific proteins. There are two types of nucleic acids found in living organisms: deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA and ribonucleic acid or RNA. Both types of nucleic acids are made up of basic building blocks called a nucleotide. A nucleotide is made up of 5-carbon sugar, a phosphate group, and a nitrogenous base. The nitrogenous bases are either double ring purines, guanine, adenine, or a single ring pyrimidines, cytosine, thymine, and uracil. This is the summary of the difference between a DNA and RNA. In terms of sugar, DNA has deoxyribose while RNA has ribose. In terms of their strand, DNA is a double-stranded while RNA is single-stranded. In terms of nitrogenous bases, DNA is composed of adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, while RNA composed of adenine, uracil, cytosine, and guanine. In terms of their location, DNA is located mostly in the nucleus but may also be found in the cytoplasm and mitochondria, while RNA is located mostly in the cytoplasm but may also be found in the nucleus. The structure of DNA as double-stranded helix molecule was first described by James Watson and Francis Crick in 1953. The two strands that make up a DNA molecule are wound around each other, forming a double spiral molecule resembling a twisted ladder. The backbone of the helix consists of alternating sugars and phosphates, while the steps of the ladder are made of nitrogenous base pairs. According to Watson-Crick DNA model, the different nitrogenous bases from specific pairs only: adenine pairs with thymine, while cytosine pairs with guanine. Given all the concepts learned from this video lesson, let us evaluate what you have learned. All you have to do is fill in the missing word or words in each sentence. Are you ready, Delpilarians? Alright. Number 1. Blank are the most abundant organic compounds found in any living organism and are responsible for as much as 15% of the body's dry weight. What's your answer? Very good. The answer is proteins. Number 2. Blank are organic compounds that serve as the main source of energy in all organisms. What's your answer? Very good. The answer is carbohydrates. Number 3. Blank are complex sugars made up of two molecules of monosaccharides chemically joined together. What's your answer? Correct. The answer is disaccharides. Number 4. Blank are organic substances that include fats and fat-like substances such as phospholipids, waxes, steroids, sphingolipids, and others. What's your answer? Very good. The answer is lipids. And number 5. Blank are organic compounds that function for the storage of genetic information, which is transmitted from one generation to the next in all living organisms. What's your answer? Great job! The answer is nucleic acids. Thank you for staying up to this point of my video lesson. I hope you enjoy it too as much as I did. Again, good day and thank you for watching.
Radyo is always at your service. Kaya naman, ang feedback mo, suggestions nyo ay mahalaga sa amin to improve our programs on air and online. Para alam ni teacher yung strengths as well as the things in your mind na mas makatutulong sa mas effective na pagkatuto sa teleradyo. Please take time to send your feedbacks via Teleradyo Mu, which you can access by scanning the QR code on the right or typing the URL provided here, bit.ly/3ORVAY9. One more, this time you follow. bit.ly/3ORVAY9. Kaya send your hashtag TBH o hashtag RT dito sa Teleradyo Mu kung saan ang feedback mo, suggestions nyo ay mahalaga sa teleradyo.
Makinig, manood na sa teleradyo. Makinig, manood na sa